Hi, Ezra again, and right now we're going to be talking about how to adjust your pH. It's a question we get all the time. Is it even necessary to adjust your pH? Yes, you should be doing it because it'll help keep your hot tub happy and also your skin. So the process for adjusting your pH is really pretty simple. You take your test strips that you use to test your water, dip it in, match it up, and then from there you can decide whether your pH is too high or too low, and just figure out which chemical you need to add to increase the pH or lower the pH. From there you just run your jets and wait for the change and test it again, make sure you're good, and that's about it. So what I'm going to do, take the strip, give it a quick dip. You don't got to hold it in there or anything, just dip it in and it'll read instantly. So up top we got our chlorine, our alkalinity, pH, and our hardness. So looking at this, we've got kind of a spectrum here of where it can be. And we're looking at the alkalinity and the pH. We'll start with the pH. Alkalinity is typically going to rise and fall with the pH. They're pretty synonymous. So as you can see, we're kind of matching up over on this end of the spectrum. In fact, we're quite high on our pH on this hot tub. So all the way down here, and the red is going to be high pH, and down here in this orangish color, or sometimes they even show up yellow on your strip if it's really acidic, it's going to be your low pH. So on this hot tub, we've got high pH. So what we're going to want to do is add our pH decreaser. So if we're in the red, we have high pH and we're going to want to use our decreaser. And if we're in the orange, or if it's yellow, or even this really like kind of light orangey, pinky, salmon color here, we're going to want to use our increaser. So we just want to keep it as close to this middle area. I call it like an Alaskan salmon, you know, what you get from like a really good fish market rather than the grocery store. It's not all pale and gross. All right, so figuring out how much you need to put in your hot tub. On the bottle, you've got super detailed instructions on exactly how much you need to add. You've got this grid that goes by gallons of how many gallons are in your hot tub, where your pH is at, and how much you need to add. Personally, I'm not a scientist, so I don't like trying to figure all that out. I do this all the time as well, so I'll give you my quick tip on how to do that without having to do that. And I just use this lovely cap. This cap is just about a teaspoon if you fill it up into this black part here. So that's exactly what I do. I measure out just about a teaspoon and I just toss it in the tub. With this decreaser specifically, I like to add this to the filter basket. And on all hot tubs, you're gonna have a filter area. So wherever your filter's at, that's where I recommend putting this stuff. As you can see, it's kind of a granular, kind of like salt would be. And the reason I want to put it in there is this is a strong acid. It's pH decreaser, so it's adding acidity to the water. So I toss it right into the filter area and I run my jets so that that granular has time to dissolve and work it through the system. For the increaser, same deal. I just use the cap. Typically, for me, I find I end up using a little more increaser than I do decreaser. For some reason, it's a little more difficult to raise pH, but this is the one that I do more than anything. If you're using a normal chlorine tub, chlorine and shock tends to lower your pH. So this is the one I find myself using more than anything. And again, I just use the cap. With the jets on high, I just take a cap of this, toss it in, and I just wait about 5-10 minutes, test it again, and see where it's at. So once you've let it run for a little while, you'll want to retest it. I typically wait about at least 5 minutes. For the decreaser, you're gonna have to wait a little longer, sometimes up to 20 minutes for this to see that pH change. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below or see our description if you want to contact us. Have a great day.